Hello friends, today I'm replacing rear brake pads on my wife's 2013 Mazda 3 hatchback, Skyactiv. You can tell new pads are much thicker than the worn ones. So far I've taken out these pins, which are just right here, and these are 7mm. That inner pad has this little spring that will basically make it, once the pad wears out, so that the backing plate doesn't scrape against the disc, it'll make this little springy part scrape and make an annoying noise telling you that the pad is fully worn. And the inner pad, the one that sits on the piston or on the inner side, has the cutout for the spring. The outer one, as you can tell, does not. I had to remove this clip just like in the front. It's kind of right here. Clean these guys off. I'm actually going to also replace these rubber boots because I got the quasi quiets from, I believe, Tire Rack. They come with a bunch of different hardware here, so I'm just going to pull those through. And I think the only other hiccup that we will encounter is potentially retracting this piston. But I think if you use needle nose pliers and turn it, you actually have to rotate it. I don't think you can actually push it in. I think you have to rotate it. And now push it in, you can see it's protruded quite far because the pads were pretty worn. You have to make sure that your parking brake is off. This little cable is actuated from the inside of the cabin, and that's the parking brake. So I wanted to make sure it's off, so I take this off, and so this is what it looks like taken apart. So I'm just cleaning out a bunch of stuff with a wire brush, making sure that these pins are able to slide easily and freely, making sure that the pad itself can slide easily on these guides. To get these rubber guides in is a little bit of a pain, but I suggest that you pre-lube them so it makes it easier to slide, and you see I'm grabbing them with pliers. Okay friends, I've failed to retract the caliper by using my needle nose pliers and pushing it in. I need a lot more oomph to push against it, so I actually had to get this, it's not here yet, but it's a Napa tool. Let me see, Napa tool 3163, and it's a Lyle tool 28600, and it's a little like cube like this that you can see that has different ends on it, and this is the one that I need for the Mazda. And I'll be able to just screw it in with my ratchet, so I have to wait for Amazon to deliver it tomorrow. It's not in any of the stores that I have nearby for O'Reilly's or AutoZone or even Napa. So I think this is the end that I'll actually need to use. See if I can just do a ratchet on it. So that's the quick update here. Okay friends, another failure. So I got this 28600 Lyle tool, and if you can see this guy, this is the guy I had to grind down. The spacing on these things is too wide. There's another one somewhere here. Yeah, so there's this one and there's this one, and they're both too wide, so I had to go to the one that looks like, I don't know, like this shape, and then cut down. As you can see, I dremeled a bunch of stuff off of it to make it fit into this caliper. This caliper is a nightmare. I don't know why it's so difficult, but just spinning it will not really do much. You really have to push a lot of force into it. So that's what I've been doing. I finally got this one on. This is basically what it looks like. Just an extension. I held the piston against this seat for the spring to push against, and I had to push quite a bit in that direction, inward toward the piston, and then rotate it. Once you get it going, just rotating it kind of retracts it. It gets on the thread. So I think retracting the caliper was the trickiest part of this. That spring, like I said, doesn't matter which way you put it on. Again, it goes on the inboard side because the outboard pad doesn't have a notch on it. Only the inboard does. Here's the spring. Okay, so you just slide it in here, just like that, and that's it. So this is kind of like the brake pad wear sensor, the cheap version of it. These pins are looped because it needs to slide back and forth. Now I'm just torquing it all back down. That's it, done with this side, finally. I guess it would be good to mention that I'm using the silicone ceramic extreme pad lubricant. So you don't want to just put grease on here because grease will attract dirt and water and then grime up this pin. So you want something that doesn't do that. So basically the lubricant that you put on for anti-squeaking. I actually didn't do it on these pads. I don't think they would squeak, but you would put it between the backing plate and then this metal part.